Tackle today, Justice Brothers from Tackle Trading, bringing you all the charts, news, and analysis so you can make informed decisions. Matt, you had a great precision trading webinar last night. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was a way fun night last night with Team Tackle, our expanded community, learning a lot about technical analysis, precision trading, the art of swing trading. But it's Education Month in Tackle Trading, so we have other webinars coming up this month. We have 3 on YouTube, for example. Next week, I know Coach Gino is going to be on Option Success on YouTube next Monday. The Monday after that, you're going to be teaching the boomerang trade. The Monday after that, Coach Craig's going to be teaching all about credit spreads. And then we're going to conclude Education Month in Tackle Trading with the Tackle 25 launch for 2025 on covered calls, mastering the income strategy. And that's going to be a fantastic way to end Education Month at Tackle Trading. And we do Education Month as we are also having our holiday sale season, which kicked off on Black Friday and runs throughout the end of the year. And if you're looking for amazing educational opportunities going into 2025, whether it's to dial in that pro membership or whatnot, you can definitely head over to the store as well, Chucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Markets hanging above daily moving averages. It feels like they're setting up for whatever comes next. The NASDAQ setup looks quite juicy. Break down the technicals for us.
Yeah, a little bit of fading action at the top end of a little bit of a move in the market. Wouldn't call it necessarily a leg as of yet, but as you were seeing, you're up about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trading days in a row off that pivot point, and you're starting to see a little bit of slowing down on the SPY, seeing a little bit of the exact same thing here on the diamonds. You go across the board, you're seeing the exact same thing on IWM. You're looking at RSP, you're looking at the exact same thing. This is something we talked about in precision trading yesterday. As you get a little bit overextended, you start to see secondary patterns develop, and you don't know in the immediacy of that development whether or not you're talking about a high base with momentum, a flag with momentum, or something a little bit of along the lines of a traditional bullish retracement. But it certainly does feel a little bit exhausted at the top end of the current move in the marketplace. That's not the case when you're looking at each individual sector out there. Obviously, sectors are going to be a little bit different, but I do think the market does feel a little bit tired at the top end. What about you?
Yeah, no, looking for a catalyst. I think looking for, even if it's a brief pause, right? Markets can't run, on 100% all the time. Brief pauses set up, allow those moving averages to catch up, set the next breakout level. I got a couple catalysts this week, Matt, on the economic calendar. Got Jay Powell speaking tomorrow afternoon. Got unemployment report on Friday. We got services PMI data on Thursday. There's enough juice out there this week to give that
Yeah.
like next stomp, but I think it's looking for that next stomp, right? The something, whatever that something is, right?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it as well. And honestly, I don't feel like technically from a pure technical perspective we're overextended. It just feels like we're fading price action right now, whether it's a
It
little
feels
bit
like it
up
just
or a
feels a
little
little
bit down.
tired, right? A little
Yeah,
tired.
it feels that's a great way to think. It feels tired after all of the election pricing in different areas of the market, and now it kind of feels like we're back to the ooh, we got to wait on a catalyst again. And so yeah, it does have a tendency to feel that way. But again, I just think we're really kind of looking at secondary patterns here. What patterns form on what indexes is going to be really important over the next few trading sessions.
And while broad markets look for catalysts, there's always on the micro level individual news stories. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, we got a couple stocks in the news here today, no doubt about that. President-elect Trump was talking about he was reiterating his desire to not have U.S. still be purchased by Nipton still out of Japan. You also had news on AT&T, which has just an absolute robust $18 billion this year in free cash flow. Just an absolute robust number from a free cash flow perspective. But we got a couple earnings reports to talk about, and that's always going to be a little bit more important than those secondary type news stories. Zscaler here, which is one of the AI Gold Rush stocks reported earnings here today, and they had a pretty good earnings report. They beat by 22% on the EPS side of the equation. Revenue was up 26% year over year. Fiscal guidance for 2025 was actually increased by 3.1% on the EPS side of the equation. However, price dropped here today. Now, it didn't drop aggressively, didn't really violate too much support, but it did violate pattern, which was a continuation pattern. And now it dirtied up the joint a little bit, which means yes, you got to clean that up on aisle 6 before we're going to be talking about a potential trade. And how it gets cleaned up, you got to work back up to resistance, or you got to work a little bit lower and start getting into reversal type situations. So ZS, a little bit of a nasty gap here on a really positive earnings announcement in my estimation. Moving on, let's talk about Core and Main, who did not have the issues that ZS did here today, as they reported earnings gapped, ran away from the price, as well as they reported a 6% beat against a 69-cent expectation. Revenue came in at 2.04 billion. That was 11% increase year over year. Fiscal guidance was slightly raised here. However, it didn't matter. Even though ZS had a little bit of a better raw report, in my estimation, CNM lift off here on a pretty decent beats, slight, and I mean slight beats across the board. ZS had a little bit better beats across the board. Core and Main did not stop on that break and gap type situation. Pretty good price movement happening on Core and Main here today. And then you have the last one in the news here today is CRDO Technology Group, and CRDO CRDO. They were in the news as they also reported earnings here today, and they just came in with a 6%, a 6-cent handle on EPS. That was in line, actually. They came in on the revenue side up 63% year over year. So EPS was kind of a non-starter, but the revenue up 63% year over year, pretty decent. They weren't done. Revenue guidance for the next quarter, it now stands at 115 to 125 million, which is a 44% increase in guidance on that as well. CRDO coming in strong here today, but that's all we got for stocks in the news.
Yeah, listen, a healthy commodity, as a commodity focused trader, cash flow, it's a good day out there right now. A lot of support levels, copper, silver, gold, all developing. We'll take a look. Dollar down a little bit. Please blow up that pattern, Matt. Can you blow up that? You're a precision trader. You have the authority and the power to blow that pattern up, right?
There's nothing precision about this chart on the dollar index. And so that's the thing about precision trading, is you don't have to trade asset classes that look like shifting volatility. Go to where it's a little bit cleaner. I said this last week. I'll say it this week. I expect a little bit of time up here between 607 and 106 and 107. The shifting volatility from last week is obviously still concerning for the bulls. And concerning for the bears is the 20-period moving average holdings. So both bulls and bears have something to complain about right now on the dollar index. We're going to let that analysis work out. And as that analysis works out, you're right. Starting to see a little bit of short-term bottoming formation here on gold. Really hasn't done anything over the last 5 trading sessions, really tightening up against that symmetrical triangle. When you're looking at silver here, like the reversal potential out of silver, still like the 32 handle. Nothing really has changed in that conversation. And then copper showing a little bit of love here today.
The first real live copper shown in a month.
Yeah, it is the first battle. First time it's really kind of done anything, but I still need more, quite frankly. I still like silver.
Yeah, that silver, we've been talking about that silver setup. We'll continue to point out the charts in the Traders Lounge each and every day. Come join us in the Traders Lounge. It's a fantastic experience. You can go to tackletrading.com, sign up for that 15-day free trial, and join us today.